Good morning and welcome to a very special video. First of all, I apologise for my voice. I went to sundown at the weekend and seemed to have picked up some sort of bug. So I'm loving life, coughing, sneezing, having a sore throat and sounding like a man. It's literally the best thing ever. But today I've been invited to Cambridge, to Anglia Ruskin University, to go and have an insight into nursing. Now, a few of my friends work in the NHS and I know how much of an amazing job it is. I think that in England we're really lucky to have the NHS and to be able to have that to fall back on if we're ill, if we're poorly, whatever stage of life. My parents, my family have all been in the NHS for certain reasons. My dad had a stroke a few years ago and it was the worst time ever. My granddad's had skin cancer numerous times. My mum's epileptic, so there's lots and lots of things in our family that we rely on the NHS for, and if it wasn't for the NHS, I don't know how we would actually function. Like, one of my best friends, as I said, works in our local hospital, and she works in the A&E section, and the story she tells me and the long hours she works, I literally feel like my job is so unimportant compared to hers. That's how I feel. But obviously I understand that without all jobs in life, the world wouldn't be who it is. So, who it is, where it is. So, I understand that everybody's got their own places, but I think the NHS is really important. We're really lucky to have it here in the UK. So the fact that I've been invited to Anglia Ruskin University today is a real honour. So they're going to be showing me insights into nursing, the skills that all the nurses have, how like technology helps them get trained. We're also going to be put into like a little, sorry my voice is going, we're also going to be put into like a mock ward, which will be really exciting. I kind of applaud myself on being quite a caring person. So nursing is something that I did think about when I was younger, but I don't know if I could do it. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of hard work that goes on behind it, that patients aren't always wanting your help. I'm sure there's really difficult patients. No one likes being in hospital, no one likes to visit people in hospital, so it's like that place where we have to go but we don't want to be. So people that work there and are always happy and love their job, I think it's really important to kind of give them praise and kind of big up that they're doing a really good job. So this morning, like I said, we're driving to Cambridge. Chris is going to come in with me to help me shoot some content and things. I'm feeling really ill, so he might have to take over the driving on. But I'm really excited. I will take you along for the journey, show you what I get up to. I'm wearing my most professional outfit I could find, with our soft toys behind us, in order to look the part. We've made it to Cambridge.
Reference is from 1997. For some, we function between these sort of areas. And if we say going down...
So we've just had our first little chat about mental health, and it really does, like we both said, it really makes you think, like, however much like I'm in the public eye, being on Instagram, but whether that actually has a good impact on people or like a bad impact. Like, I obviously come from like the bullying background and being ginger and being weird, and turning it around and now making it my mission to make other people more like embracing who they are and things. But then other people might not have that like inner strength to turn it around. They might just be like, this is just the cards I've been dealt and that's just what it is. But I've written down lots of notes. I'm going to go through it all with you at the end because it was so interesting. It's made me rethink a lot of things. Like millennials, I think we have a lot to answer for, really. And how mental health is going to change. In a few years' time, I think it's going to be a whole different ballgame again. Because there's so many like outside influences that are affecting our mental health without us even thinking about it. Like being addicted to phones, and that's obviously having an impact. If we're sitting down vlogging for 30 seconds and we're bored, first thing is to do is pick up our phones, and then we're being inundated by perfect images and things. So yeah, it's definitely something to think about.
the older ones. That would be kind of the golden star, that's what you would aim for. You've got some multiple choice questions in there as well, so students can make decisions about what they would do next, and they can hear different stories. Yeah, just need to click on the play button.
Yeah.
Just the trigger, don't press any buttons,
Shall
just
I?
the trigger. That should be enough to... Is it enough? You don't need to look around all directions. Check out the medicine cabinet.
You can see that he's also peeing. There's some urine, there's something in the back, so he's amazing. He's used in the second years for our nursing. He's also used for the simulation for post-registration nurses. It's not scared of the real life. I need the volunteer. Yeah. And 2 fingers, yeah, over there, Sharon.
Oh, it's there?
Yeah, so we're supposed to measure for 1 minute.
Oh, yeah.
What's the normal values? Of
60 beats?
Yes, 60 beats per minute. That's how we were training our students, as you can see.
We can go blue around the lips if we want them to. He also has a pulse. And
Good afternoon. I'm going to say afternoon, yeah, good afternoon. So I just wanted to kind of touch base and talk to you about yesterday because it was such an eye-opener. We left and it kind of makes you reevaluate life in so many different ways. Like the NHS does an amazing job. No one is doubting that. But there's certain things about it. Like we touched on mental health, we touched on the training, we touched on skills, and it was just so overwhelming is the only way I can kind of describe it. The training was how they were like integrating technology into training. I'll inside a little clip around here of me and Chris putting these like virtual headsets on. So we put these like virtual headsets on and they put them like say on the back of, her name was Edna, on the back of her wheelchair, and you kind of get to see about her daily life and like the struggles that she struggles with that we wouldn't even think was an issue, like loading the dishwasher she's getting out of breath with, and going to get milk, and she'd say, oh, I'm running out of milk, I need to go to the shop, but I need to get my trolley, and because it hasn't got a roof I need to make sure it's not raining. Like little issues that we just take for advantage. Like if Chris and I just needed a pint of milk, we just go and get a pint of milk, like it's not really a big deal, but to her it would be a massive deal. And it was really nice to cut, because of these VR headsets, to be put in that position and kind of see life from her perspective. So they were really, really clever. A bit trippy, if I'm honest, to be completely honest, because it was strange how you just like move your head. I'd never done that thing before, so it's kind of weird that you'd move your head and you'd be like moving your perspective. But it was really, really good, and I'm sure we look completely out of Wally's whilst we were doing it. I haven't seen any of the footage from yesterday, so that'll be a treat for both of us as I go to edit this video. So that was intelligent and very clever how they're integrating technology into things, because I said to one of the lecturers that I kind of get put off going back to like learn new skills. Like I want to go back into doing fashion and university and things like that, but I'm very, very hands-on, and I worry that things are going to be like taught how they were at school, and it's all like very written and very like, if you don't get things by reading and writing, then you're not going to understand it. So it's really good to know that you could, even if you're not like a reading and writing learner, say they do like different ways of learning, like in the same section, so you'll pick it up either in the VR section or the writing session, because everyone learns differently. Some people are more hands-on, some people like to read, so it's really good to know that whatever way you learn, there's going to be a way for you to kind of cover the course, which is really good. Yeah, also with the VR headsets, which are really, really clever, they kind of put different films on them for students, which I think is really, really like so intelligent. Like it's just beyond words to me. So they like set up different scenarios. So like there was one with Edna's house, but then there's one with like getting in the ambulance, like if there was an accident, say arriving at the scene, getting in the ambulance, going to A&E, going to the theatre, and like that whole like scenario. But you feel like in the scenario as opposed to like reading step-by-step instructions or whatever, which I'm sure you would have done like 30 years ago. So it's like the advances in technology that are making it so much more like adaptable as to when you go from like university from the stage to going actually out there in the world and being in the NHS, which I think is really, really clever, because you kind of take these things for advantage, don't you? That when you go to a hospital, that people know exactly what's going to be wrong with you, and you just kind of accept that you're going to go in and they're going to go, yep, this is wrong with you, and they're going to give you some tablets or refer you to someone else who's more clued up as to what's wrong with you, and then eventually you're going to get sorted. But those people have had to go to university. Those people have had to like really, really work hard in order to kind of get where they are. And then we went downstairs into the ward bit, and now I'm a bit naive. Obviously, they like, if you work in the NHS, you kind of have to be taught about things before you go into the real life hospital, doctor, care home scenarios. But I didn't really realise it would be like downstairs was like a full-on ward. There was like a full-on ward with like a choking patient, and there was little babies, and where you'd like inject them, and where they had their trachea removed and things like that. It was really, really like daunting. Like they're like mannequin type things, and you could like feel their pulse and listen to their heartbeat. It was so realistic, which makes you think like how far technology has come again, because I'm sure 30 years ago they didn't have those sorts of things. So as much as technology has a bad way in many aspects of life, it's really good to know that it's having a positive impact on other places. And then we got taken through to like this like actual theatre, like it was a theatre scenario, all the lights, all the bed in the middle of the room. The only way I could describe it as like a movie set. It was that sort of like so realistic that I'd imagine when you go into like a hospital scenario, you kind of know your surroundings and you know kind of where things are meant to be, so you're eased in a lot better. And then we went into like the paediatric ward, which is where the children are, and there was like a birthing pool in the corner with a lady giving birth or laying there ready to give birth. And they also had one of these like mannequin dummy things that actually physically gives birth. Now if that's not clever, I don't know what is. I don't know how much it would prepare you for helping a lady give birth, but I'm sure it would give you a rough scenario of what to expect. They wouldn't do it in front of us because there was a few men in the room and they just didn't want to scare them, but it's just so clever. And like with the children, little dummies, there's areas where they can inject them, and finding where their pulse points are and how to deal in certain scenarios. It's just so amazing. Is the only way I can describe it. And then the last section, which actually the first section, but I wanted to leave it till last on the vlog, was we talked about mental health. Now, mental health is a massive spectrum. They kind of wanted to, well now they're kind of deviating away from whether you're ill or unwell, which I think is really, really important, because everybody has their own issues, everybody has their own problems, difficulties, dilemmas they've dealt in their life that have shaped them into the person they are. But it doesn't necessarily mean they're well. It doesn't necessarily mean you're unwell. You're kind of on that spectrum. And he showed you this diagram where it was, I think I have got a picture of it. If I have, I'll insert it around here. Where there's like an area of functionality where you can deal with like upsets and highs and lows and things like that in this little section. And then there's one where you're extremely happy, which is another section, which is like graduations and proposals, things like that, where you'd be so happy. And then there's the other side, which is like where you're so down that you've literally got nowhere to go. And that was just bizarre in itself to think about things like that. Like my dad's dealt with depression, and from a young age, I think I was about 13, and he just didn't want to live anymore, and it was traumatic. But thankfully now he went to see psychiatrists and things, and he's a lot better now and he's a lot happier. And if that wasn't for the NHS, I don't know where our lives would be now. So I kind of have dealt with depression firsthand. I kind of understand it and kind of get it, and I understand the importance of talking and speaking to your loved ones and realising you're not alone. And it did really get me thinking about mental health and social media, because social media is amazing. I obviously am a massive advocate for social media. I love it, and I use it as a platform to kind of spread the word of positivity and being who you are and embracing if you're weird, embracing if you're crazy, embracing if you love colour. But obviously there is that downside where you are comparing yourself to other people. Now, I constantly compare myself to other people, constantly compare myself to other people's lives. Like, I'm 28 next year, I don't have my own house. I kind of expected my life when I was younger at my age to be somewhere where I'm not, and I see other people that are my age who I went to school with and they've achieved so much more. So I even compare myself to other people, and then there's that part where you compare yourself to how you portray yourself, like how you feel like you should be. So it's to say, like, I feel like I should be further in my life, I feel like I should have accomplished more, I feel like I should have hit more life goal targets compared to like my cousins and my family and my friends. And when people say they've moved out by my age and they've got houses by my age, and I haven't done that, which is obviously, everyone's just at their own pace is the only way I can describe it. I've always been kind of a winger, and that's fine, because I have always said to myself, I don't want to dream, I don't want to target, because if I hit that then I'll stop. And I never even imagined to have 50 followers, so the fact that I've got like nearly 15,000 is absolutely crazy. So if I'd have set myself a target of 10,000, then I don't think I would have even strived for further. So the fact that I'm a winger sometimes plays in my part, other ways doesn't play in my part, obviously. So I compare myself. So then we went on to like communicating and how communicating has changed in the past 10 years. Now, I am one of those people that is on their phone, but I'm not on my phone a great, I wouldn't say compared to a lot of my friends, I'm on my phone an awful lot. I tend to use it for work, and sometimes I get really stressed out with my phone because every time I look at it there is something else to do. And that is amazing that your phone can do your emails, and you guys can contact me, and my friends and families can contact me, and all of that stuff. But it does stress me out looking at my phone, because it's like an extra brain, isn't it? Like extra things you've got to do that can just flash up and kind of interfere with your day and interfere with your mood, and everything you're feeling can literally be ruined or improved within like half a second of you just looking at your phone screen. And I think that in time, like, phones are great, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that phones are negative and no one should be using their phones, but it's a fact of whether they're actually helping our mental health or making it worse. I make the point of not really using my phone too much when I'm out and about. I tend to just do what I've got to do and then enjoy the moment. But like when we went to a concert last night, there was a young girl behind us and she was just on her phone the whole time, and I thought, blimey, you're here with your friends and family and having an amazing time, or you could be having an amazing time, but you're not, you're on your phone, and one day you look up and your family aren't going to be there, your friends aren't going to be there, and you're going to be just kicking yourself that you were sat there on your phone in your own little world rather than like listening and having fun with your friends and family. I think it's really sad that this is the way of the world and the way it's going to be, and it's only going to get worse if we're honest. I think that a lot of us are really bad at communicating, like face-to-face communicating. It's all through social media, even the way like dating websites of like dating apps, dating websites, all that sort of thing, that's all kind of moved onto your phone. You haven't even got to speak to someone, you can just text them, deal with things that way. You haven't even got to like go out into a bar and speak to people, you can just message. And I think that is going to be the way of the world. I think people are actually going to talk to each other in a few years. I think it is all going to be phone based. Like, don't get me wrong, it is great that you can have the extra confidence, say, behind a phone screen, behind a keyboard, but then there is that whole thing of keyboard warriors, and they think it's fine because they're behind a screen. So it's that like double-edged sword in every aspect. But those kind of things do really affect your mental health, mental well-being, and then they're going to in turn like change your self-respect, change your self-motivation, like affecting how you deal with disappointment and things like that. So it's just kind of a vicious circle, isn't it? But it really does get me thinking as to whether social media is going to have a massive impact on all of our brains, all of our mindsets, all of our just general activities in a few years. It's just so it's just a massive subject really, isn't it? But it's something that I'm really, really passionate about, and I really want to think about the way I'm portraying myself on social media. Like I said to Chris yesterday, maybe I shouldn't airbrush my photos anymore. I'm not saying I airbrush them to the limit, like you guys know what I look like, but there's obviously certain things I tweak and things like that. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should be more real, because that's who I am. Like, but you guys get to see obviously in stories and things like that what I'm like normally. But it just makes you think, like, I don't want to be portrayed as someone who's not who they are. I want to be portrayed as who I am, because I'm pretty proud of the way I've turned out so far. So I should kind of embrace who I am. Like, I'd say the past year I've kind of embraced, maybe not my skin colour, I'm still fake tanning, but I'm not really wearing much makeup anymore, and I've kind of embraced my hair naturally and having freckles and all those sorts of things. So I'm kind of embracing who I am slowly, and I think that comes with age, like confidence and things like that. But I kind of want to portray the best version of my natural self to you guys. So it's going to be changing my your perception of me on Instagram, I think, for the foreseeable future. I think it's going to have a big impact on me and how I portray myself. There was one fact I wanted to say to you guys, which really, really shocked me. It shocks me, but it didn't shock me. 108.5% increase in antidepressant prescriptions in the last 10 years, which is 65.5 million prescriptions of antidepressants a year. That is crazy. I think there's so many reasons for that. I think that the world we live in, as I touched on earlier, we kind of all compare ourselves to other people. We're all comparing our lives to other people, what we look like compared to other people, what we're doing compared to other people. I think there's also the whole wanting success all the time. We're always shown with videos and things of people that have come from nothing and they've succeeded to be millionaires, and why aren't we in that position? And there's the whole, I think there's going to be a massive thing about online gaming and things like that. Like, every game is about killing people, and how is that good for your mental health to be sitting at home and for hours on end playing a game where you're killing people? Like, surely that's not having a positive impact on young people. And I know they have age limits on games, but they're not really an age limit, because if your parents say you can play it basically. And I just think that's not having a positive impact alongside social media, and alongside so many things that are impacting us, and the TV, and comparing ourselves to these celebrities. And there's just so many ways of comparing yourself, isn't there? I'm sure there was like 10 to 20 years ago there was ways of people would compare themselves, and they compare themselves to movie stars and things like that. But I think nowadays it's so easily accessible to just turn on the telly and watch what we want to watch, and kind of immerse ourselves in that life that we think that's the life we should be living. Like, we've been watching Power at the moment, and it's a great TV show, I absolutely love it, I'm absolutely glued. But if you were in that mindset where you were struggling for money, and you were watching that and seeing how these drug dealers are earning so much money, I can see why it would appeal to you, and I can see why you'd go down that road. So it's all about your perception to things, isn't it? It's just a massive subject, isn't it? And my subject I could go on about all day, because I've had my own battles. Like I guess I was bullied and things like that, and then I had an eating disorder for a long time, for 3-4 years maybe, and that definitely shaped me into the person I am today. There's just, I think the world has a lot to answer for, really. I want to thank Anglia Ruskin University for inviting me down there, because we both had an amazing time. It was great to kind of get involved with you and see how you're training these amazing nurses. And I will leave their Instagram down below, also their website down below, so you guys can go and have a look at the prospectus. And yeah, I will speak to you all soon.